Daily Devotionals with open hearts and open minds. First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado presents Hope and Coffee with Pastor Hugo Venegas.
Hi, this is Hugo Venegas. Welcome to another week of Hope and Coffee. And we're studying the faces of hope based on Genesis chapter 6 all the way to chapter 12. And last week we talked about contentment and enjoyment, that Noah came out of the ark, he planted a vineyard, and then he drank the wine and had a good time. So we're going to keep reading that story because this week we're going to deal with another face of hope. So I want us to go back to Genesis chapter 9, and we're going to take it up at verse 21. And it says here, when Noah drank some of the wine, he became drunk and lay uncovered in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father's nakedness and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders, and they walked backward and covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father's nakedness. When Noah woke up from his wine and found out that his youngest son had done to him, he said, "Cursed be Canaan, the lowest of slaves will be the lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers." He also said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend the territory of Japheth. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his slave." Oh man, there is trouble on the planet. Folks, you heard it directly from the Bible. Noah drank. He had a good time. He had such a wonderful time. He got drunk, and I don't know if he was doing the Macarena. I don't know if he was doing Despacito. I don't know what he was dancing, but the man fell drunk and was naked, totally naked. Then Ham came in. All right, I need you to know this, that it says here that Ham, the father of Canaan, came in and he saw his father's nakedness. I don't know what he did. He laughed, he made fun of his dad, but that was not cool. He made fun of his father's nakedness. And the other two sons walked back with the sheet and they covered their father's nakedness so that they would not see his nakedness. And that is the face of covering love. This week I want to talk to you about covering love, because in order for us to cover the vulnerabilities of others, in order for us to not enjoy the nakedness and the vulnerabilities and the exposures of others, we have to have love. And I have it written down here. I said, we can only cover others in love when we feel enveloped in love. We cannot cover others if we don't feel covered ourselves. And we have, in our culture today, all we do is we tear each other down through Twitter. We tear each other down on social media. We tear each other down on the phone and text messages. We live in a very, very, very unloving culture. And we see that one of the faces of hope is that we cover others who are vulnerable with love. We don't make fun of their nakedness. We don't exploit their nakedness. We don't sell books on their nakedness. We don't post their nakedness on social media. We cover them. And that's why in Peter, 1 Peter 4:8, I want you to listen to what this passage says, because it's a very, very, very important passage. It says in 1 Peter 4:8, "Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins." So Noah got drunk, had a good time, and embarrassed himself. A loving son doesn't make fun of that. When you have deep and sincere love for people, you cover their nakedness. This couple weeks, with everything going on in Minneapolis, the story in the news came out that there is a big black man who called the police department up in Minneapolis, and he says, I'm just reporting on myself. I am a big black man. I work for the city and I do safety checks. I'm going to go around the house. So if people see me around the neighborhood, wandering around, looking in the house, looking up on the roof, and they call, just know that I am a big black man and I am a city worker, and I'm just doing my job. And the white 911 responder said to him, "Brother, I've got you covered. I've got you covered." And because of that call, they became friends. That here is a man understanding what it meant to be black in that city. And he said, "I got you covered." Love covers a multitude of sins. Now, I heard another story, and I don't know if you saw the pictures because it was in the Associated Press. When there was a protest up in Atlanta, it got really ugly. It got really, really ugly. And there was a white counter-protester who got caught up, and he was getting beat up, and he was under fire, and this big black man went all the way over to the counter protesters where this man was being beaten up, and he picked him up and carried him on his shoulder to safety. And the AP, Associated Press, pick up the story, and love covers a multitude of sins. In Minneapolis, you had a white 911 responder saying, "Brother, I've got you covered." In Atlanta, you had a black man covering for a counter-protester, someone who believed differently than he did, but love covers a multitude of sin. If we want to thrive as a society, if we want to thrive as a church, we have to have a commitment to covering others in love, to covering those who are vulnerable with love, to being there for those who are struggling, just as two brothers did that for their father. But Ham left his father lying in a tent, vulnerable and exposed. So this week, we're going to talk about that face of hope, and may God help us to cover others with love, because the Bible says that love covers a multitude of sins. But it's only those who feel loved, deeply loved. It's only when we are deeply loved that we can cover others in love. This is Hugo Venegas, directly from Pueblo, Colorado. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us for our daily devotional, Hope and Coffee, with Pastor Hugo Venegas. If you enjoyed today's devotion, like or subscribe below. We also welcome you to join our family at First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado. You can visit our website at firstumcpueblo.org, and we hope you continue to have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.